Starting next week, former President Donald Trump will be going head-to-head against E. Jean Carroll for his second defamation trial. And it appears he has already lost. On Tuesday, U.S. District Judge Lewis Kaplan dashed the Trump team's defense hopes by clearly stating that the facts have already been established that Trump sexually abused Carroll. Now, that spells a problem for Trump's defense team, who has been preparing all this time for a way to use this trial to clear Trump's name. Kaplan's order says, in other words, the material facts concerning the alleged sexual assault already have been determined, and this trial will not be a do-over of the previous trial. In his 27-page order, Kaplan also reminded the defense team that the jury will be deciding how badly to reprimand Trump for defaming Carroll back in 2019. Now, the new jury will see evidence in the form of the Access Hollywood tape and the videotape deposition where he had said that stars can get away with sexually assaulting people. Unfortunately, or fortunately, that's a direct quote from Trump. The trial will also deal with Trump's denials that were made when he was president, when he had a much, much bigger platform, when he was going and tweeting out all these accusations against E. Jean Carroll. So that matters because we've already seen that Trump is not immune from facing defamation lawsuits. That wasn't part of his official duties as president. You were not supposed to be sitting there tweeting insults and calling someone a liar. Kaplan's orders on Tuesday also said that Trump will have the obligation, but not the right, to remain silent about nearly everything he intended to say in court. Mr. Trump and his counsel are precluded in the presence of the jury from claiming that Mr. Trump did not sexually rape Ms. Carroll, that he did not make his 2019 statements concerning Ms. Carroll with actual malice, or that Ms. Carroll fabricated her account. He wrote, Trump can't even say that he didn't believe Carroll was telling the truth about their encounter in the 1990s. So there it is. He can't get up and just lie. Can't play loose with the truth. Now, obviously, if you're one of Trump's lawyers, you already made a bad decision. Okay. But you can still prevent something worse from happening by making sure you can keep him as far away from the stand as humanly possible. Okay. Now, bonus points if you can actually keep him away from Truth Social, but we know that's not going to happen. I think it would be pretty much an impossible task. Then again, if you're defending Trump, that's kind of what you signed on for. Okay. Now, it's not a question of if, but when he will end up saying something that will hurt him, that he's not supposed to, lashing out at Carroll. Now, there's another issue that he's not supposed to discuss, and that's DNA evidence, right? Now, Carroll's lawyer had the dress that she was wearing when she was assaulted by Trump tested at a California laboratory. Now, it discovered that there were several human DNA samples. Trump, however, he had refused to subject himself to a test that could potentially match his genetic material to whatever was still on that coat. Okay? Which, again, if he didn't assault her, that would have cleared him. But since he knew that he did it, he decided, I'm not going to get tested. He waited until after the period that you can submit evidence ended. So then, of course, he could say, well, I tried to submit evidence that I was innocent, but they wouldn't let me. The deep state plot. No, you waited. The judge interpreted that, of course, as a bad faith public relations maneuver, and that's 100%. Kaplan made his judgment based on Trump's own unjustified refusal to provide a sample of his own DNA on a timely basis. And furthermore wrote, Mr. Trump himself is the primary reason why there is no DNA comparison evidence in this case. Bringing up the lack of DNA evidence would be fundamentally unfair and substantially prejudicial to Carroll. Finally, he ruled that Trump's lawyers are not allowed to tell jurors anything about how a Democratic Party megadonor named Reid Hoffman, the billionaire behind LinkedIn, had been quietly funding her lawsuit. Now, all of this means that the case will be decided based on the evidence in court, and also mean that Trump is effectively muzzled. Assuming, of course, he listens and follows the ruling, and that's a big if, as we've seen before. But all of that basically this has shown that this lawsuit is already over.